I am Joel Francois. I go to Brooklyn College and I am part of the Brooklyn College Slam team. And um, poetry to me is an outlet. Ever since I was like really young, I've always thought in these very complex pictures, and the way that I would express myself is like unpacking these complex pictures and trying to explain, how they relate to the world around me. And I've always found myself sort of caught up in an argument with myself and that would just be my way of navigating through this world and understanding the different conflicts or the different aspects of art or any type of aesthetic. And one way that I found that it was easy for me to sort of like navigate these thoughts was through writing. But the first form of writing I got into was short story writing, and that takes a while because a short story could be anywhere from a page long to 28, 30 pages. So sometimes it would take a lot longer for me to sort of navigate the conversation in my head through a short story, and poetry has just given me a way of minimizing that conversation, a way of dealing with that complex picture in my head in a way that's a lot more immediate. There's a bit of a future in poetry, but it's not the greatest thing. Honestly speaking, what poets seem to be doing today is they go from like these different outlets. We have three different national competitions: a youth competition, a collegiate competition, and the adult competition. And doing well at those competitions while on a team sort of gives you a certain level of notoriety. And if you build up a sort of oral portfolio of people who are willing to invest in your work, then they are willing to bring you out and they'll feature you at shows, and that is where most of the money comes from. Also, you will travel with a chapbook. It's a book of your published poems where you would then perform and then sell them. So that is the pragmatism of poetry. That's where all the money comes from, so to speak. Okay, there have always been these really complicated pictures that pop up in my head, and my cognitive process has been set on trying to unpack, then express these complicated pictures, and writing has always been a great outlet for me to do so. But I started off in my adventure through creative writing in short story writing, which is very long. It could be anywhere from a page to 12 pages long. And I think what poetry has done for me was given me the ability to shorten that process, to still be able to battle these complicated pictures, but in a much shorter art form. It's sort of weird because the poetic process sort of has two stages, one of them being the writing, and I think the writing is what helps me get through it, because being able to admit those things even on paper or in your phone or in your notes or even a diary or whatever is you conquering that demon. Being able to be that honest and put it into writing is to me the whole process of getting through it. Now, the second portion of poetry is performative, and I think that, speaking for me specifically, having to then relive those moments every single time that I'm performing that piece is a little troubling. It's like I dealt with it on paper, and now I have to sort of relive those moments every single time I perform that. I have this strong belief that everyone who is living should allow two truths to permeate their lives. And you should allow one of those truths to haunt you. That truth should be the voice in the night or the monster in your closet. Just allow that truth to haunt you and to remind you that it is constantly there. And the second truth that you should have is the truth that you allow to be confrontational. And that truth should be something that you are willing to go to battle for, something that you're willing to wear on your person and allow everyone to know that that is a fundamental part of your makeup. And for me, the truth that I have allowed to be haunting is family. And I say this because that haunting truth slips into my poetry even when it wasn't really intended. You will see a line about my mother's hands or my father's workload or whatever, because I have allowed my family to be that haunting presence to consistently enter into places that it wouldn't necessarily belong. And I would say that the truth that I am allowing to be confrontational is my blackness. It doesn't matter to me if I offend you by being too black. It doesn't matter to me if I am black enough to scare somebody, because that is the part of me that I need to be confrontational. I have a world that is trying to kill. Let me rephrase that. It seems that race is a huge issue in this country, and many could say that we are living in a reality where there are a lot of people that are willing to kill me just for looking like me. And for that reason, I have allowed myself and my identity and these Negroid features to be confrontational, and I will, fight for it. It's the truth that I am literally willing to go to war for.